what's up YouTube? It's me, Sarah, and today's video is going to be just a little bit different than my usual videos as of lately. I just wanted to take some time to talk about dating and self-love because recently I've been reading different books and having a lot of lucid dreams about my dating history, my exes, and some of the really valuable lessons I've learned so far. I just felt like sharing it today, and hopefully this video helps some of y'all move forward or kind of reaffirms what you've been feeling lately when it comes to moving on from an ex or trying to embark on your own self-love journey. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my top 7 valuable dating lessons I have learned so far. Something that it took me a while to accept, but now that I'm in a place where I'm happy and I'm healthy and just love myself so much more than I did back then, I can fully grasp the meaning of these lessons and truly understand why things fell apart, why things happened the way that they did. And it excites me to share this type of knowledge and my experiences to help anybody out there who may be struggling right now in the love department. And I think that was like a really long run-on sentence. I'm sorry, but sometimes I just have a thought in my head and I just go with it. But y'all get the point. So the first lesson that I've learned and really understood is how the partner that you choose really does reflect on how much you love yourself. I think I saw a TikTok where this girl mentioned she can look at a couple and just know right off the bat how much a girl loves herself, the way the partner treats the girl, and if she's willing to accept the bare minimum treatment and all that type of stuff. And this lesson really hits home for me because I never thought about how the partner I chose to invite into my safe space, my home, my life, how they reflected my self-love. Are we really going to invite a person in our life who disrupts that peace, who brings us headaches and stress and doesn't appreciate the life that you've built yourself? So that quote hits differently for me, and it can really speak volumes on what you're willing to accept and tolerate and where your boundaries are. The second tip is you can only understand someone at the depth at which you've learned yourself. Let me try to explain that. It took a while because there were things about my past partners I didn't quite understand what they were saying. It was hard for me to see their viewpoint during arguments or, talking about stuff. So when I got to a point in my healing journey where I was peaceful and I didn't lash out and I wasn't as reactive, that's when I gained a better understanding of how other people can operate and how other people go through different feelings, emotions, and struggles on a day-to-day basis that you may not even be aware of. So how could you possibly understand other people if you don't fully understand yourself and how you work, and how understanding yourself and learning yourself actually does allow you to empathize a lot more with other people and connect with them on a level that maybe you never thought was capable of before. So it took me some time to really understand that I needed to learn myself and I needed to know what my triggers were, why I was reacting the way that I was, in order for me to better understand my partners and the people that are in my life, the people that I love. So that's a huge tip of mine, is to learn yourself. Once you're able to fully understand why you are the way that you are, it'll actually bring you closer to other people. My third tip is your perception of love will continue to evolve with every relationship that you have. Whether the relationship ended on good terms or whether the relationship ended on bad terms, your perception of love will continue to change with every relationship. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. When you can understand how love is free and flowing and is not bound to anything, then you can really understand how there are different types of love with different people you meet throughout life, with yourself, and that's okay. You don't have to stick to the same idea or perception of love that you had when you were 10 years old, 20 years old, 30, 40. It's bound to change, and it's bound to evolve as you change as a person and you continue growing, going through life, understanding different ideas and qualities that you do find attractive or that you do love. So don't be afraid of how that perception changes, and instead learn from each relationship and know now what you define as love and what you feel is fulfilling in terms of romance and what you're looking for in a partner. My fourth tip is to love and be loved is a beautiful thing, even if you're no longer with that person. This was a tough pill to swallow, and I know for the longest time, after being heartbroken a few times, I used to wonder, why did I have to go through that? Why did I have to be broken and heal and move on and then to be broken again? But as I matured and as I took time to focus on myself and the things that made me happy, I realized that I'm so immensely grateful for the fact that I was even able to love somebody else and to be loved in return, even if that love didn't last. And even if that love was only destined to last a season or to be with that person during a certain time period of my life, that's okay, And a lot of times I feel people who do get hurt in a relationship take those feelings and they look at the fact that they are no longer with that person and it turns them bitter. And yes, that's normal, especially after a breakup. You have so many emotions to process, and it can be hard to look at the bright side or look and be grateful for what you went through, especially if you're hurting in that moment. But one day down the line, when you are able to heal from that person and move forward and hopefully fall in love with somebody else, you do realize that at the end of the day, it was a really beautiful thing to even love somebody and to have that love reciprocated. My biggest point when it comes to this tip is just to be grateful for the experience that you had and for the life lesson that you hopefully learned, and maybe it pushed you closer to learning yourself and loving yourself more. Or maybe it was just a season of your life that you can look back on and be fond of, and maybe share those stories with your kids one day if they're struggling in the love department. But I think at the end of the day, love is a really, really beautiful thing to experience no matter how it ended. My fifth tip is that not everyone will match you, and that's okay. It's nothing personal. So I remember one of my exes, the one that joined the military, I think I have a video on that. I remember his words to me was, I think that maybe there's just a better match out there for us. And younger me, I took that personally, and I was like, what do you mean there's a better match? Why can't I be the person that can match you, or we match each other? Do we not match right now, But he was right. There's no hard feelings. If you're not a match with a person, that's okay. There are so many people out there who can match you better, And it's nothing personal. It's not to say you're not enough or I want someone better. That's not the point of that comment at all. The comment really is, there are things where maybe we're not so happy in the relationship. There are things where maybe we're not on the same page, or there's friction, and there are better matches out there. So I like to see it as, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's time to kind of reflect on the relationship and see if we truly are happy being together, or if it's worth taking time apart and seeing if there are better matches out there for us. My sixth tip is the relationship shouldn't drain you or have constant extreme ups and downs, because that's toxic. And I know what some people are going to comment. Relationships aren't rainbows and sunshine. They're not always going to be happy. Completely true. You're right. It's not to say that relationships should always be smooth sailing or you're never going to get in a fight or whatever it is. But if you're having extreme push and pull, tug of war kind of fights where it feels like you're never really improving on communicating or growing together, and it feels manipulative or you're not being heard and all this other stuff, it's worth looking at and seeing, is this really a healthy relationship? It's okay to realize how, even though you would wish that y'all were on a better page, or if you were more mature in terms of handling stuff, sometimes it's just not worth it and y'all are just not working out. But it should not drain you, and I do firmly believe that when you are a match with somebody else, that it's going to be more cohesive and y'all will work more as a team rather than me versus him. And my 7th final tip is sometimes you grow out of the initial love or the initial match. So this was also a really tough thing for me to accept, is that sometimes you just grow into different people. I know you wish that y'all would have grown together, you have this idea of your future together, and you wish that it worked and you got to ride off into the sunset together like you planned, right? Sometimes it just doesn't work like that. Sometimes you do grow apart from this person and you realize, hey, this just is not gonna work. There really is no future between us. Again, that's okay. It's okay that you grow out of that love, because it just shows y'all are changing as people. You're growing, you're evolving, and you're just trying to find the partner that's gonna match you in that way and match you in what you want from life and the stage that you're at. But that's pretty much it, y'all. Those were the top 7 life lessons or tips that I've learned the past few years when it came to dating and relationships and my self-love journey. I just feel will resonate with a lot of people today. But yeah, let me know. Comment down below some of the dating or relationship advice that you have, and maybe love lessons that you've had to learn maybe the hard way or that took some time for you to truly accept. I would love to know. But if you haven't already, please make sure to check the description box down below. I will go ahead and include a timestamp, related videos of mine that you may find helpful or informative. I hope that y'all enjoyed this video, and please stay tuned. I post every single Monday.